Although you could just, as well as the normal, you just instead of the FFF, you call it the FFFFF.
G'day, mate, and that's now our intro to the Friday Facts 308.
I knew you were going to do that.
We're not quite stable yet. And yeah, I've got Mojo here. He's the infamous Mojo, and
Yeah.
he's presenting the what? The
The
yeah, the fantastic fun Friday Factorio
Fabulous
Facts.
facts.
Yeah, fabulous facts. Oh, I knew I forgot one. Yep.
For short.
Yep. Yep. So, Friday Facts. Last week they had a party in the office to celebrate the work they'd done over the last 6 months on 17 stabilisation. And I literally read that line. I'm like, has it been 6 months? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
oh yeah, shit has been. Wow.
And they had a cake last week.
They had a cake last week and then had a party this week. It's like,
Just
Woob
not
sounds
stop
like...
party around there.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a place to work, you know. You push everything out, you do some big Friday Facts beforehand, some big ones just after release, and then nothing but cake and parties. So yeah. So it was nice to have most of the team together to share in some beer and pizzas, because in between that, they've also had everybody away for summer break. So you get Friday Facts beforehand, push for 17, Friday Facts afterwards, holiday, cake, and party.
What's not to complain about there?
Yeah. But yeah, they're not quite stable, even though last week they were almost stable. Yep. Unfortunately, we had a couple of nasty bugs appear this week, in no small part due to Boss Kid on his crusade to find bugs. In the last month alone, Boss Kid has reported over 20 bugs, so a special thanks to you. I don't know what sort of thanks he's gonna get, you know. Some devs would be like, thanks, you managed to point out these bugs that we can fix with good documentation. Other devs are gonna be like, I hate this guy. Can we just ban him from the forums? Just accidentally lose his password? Accidentally change his password for him.
That too? Or just instantly close them as trivial, not going to fix.
Yeah. See if we do that enough times and he'll give up.
Something that causes the game to hard crash. Nope, trivial. Too hard to fix.
Yeah. It's a feature. Design feature. So they're now down to 32 open bugs reported on the forum. And then we've got this little graph which compares the 16 crashes versus the 17 crashes. And it is adjusted for pre-17 coming out. So, yeah, it's based on roughly the same player data. And from what they can tell, the number of crashes on against average player counts is about the same. Hang on. Oh, and they've also got a issue with... So 17 is almost as stable as 17. And then they also have a lot of the crashes are coming from older 17 experimental releases, which might be skewing the data. Additionally, 1 in 20 of the bug reports are due to cheat engine and not something we can fix. And this got me curious.
Cheat engine still.
Yeah, like, what does cheat engine give you in Factorio?
Normally, Factorio is unique in that if they're trying to cheat engine multiplayer or even single player for that matter, it's just going to crash or decent. Whereas most games, if you cheat engine stuff in, it probably just take it.
Well, cheat engine
because it doesn't validate so closely.
Cheat engine normally changes stuff happening in RAM, and if you do that in a multiplayer environment, it's going to desync instantly. So it's not happening in multiplayer. In single player,
it'll just be giving like more items than can handle in a stack, and the game just says nope and crashes.
Yeah, but like, why would you bother? Like, the console commands are all on the wiki. You can go into God mode and just instant craft anything in a stack at a time.
Pretty sure it's been discussed a few times. I can remember a few times it's been discussed before, where people just don't care to do console commands. It's just easier to do a cheat. I think I actually come across someone who eventually in fact, I think it was an FFF or a FFF a little while ago, quite a while ago, possibly, where the person eventually confessed on the forum that the crash was due to them using a cheat engine.
Oh wow, okay. I don't remember ever seeing anything about it, and like, I know cheat engine exists. It's existed for years. I've used it in games where, you know, I wanted to set up a particular scenario or something like that, and cheat engine was the only way to do it because the devs didn't provide any sort of back-end access to do scenarios or or change things in the game in a live environment. But once you've changed it in cheat engine, you can then save it, remove cheat engine, reload the game, and then it's set up that way. But yeah, I had no idea people would bother using it for Factorio.
Yeah, people do it for everything.
Same with, like, if you're getting a crash and experimental version of 17, update. Like, I've updated my rocket per minute base to 1760 because it changed the oil, and therefore I had a reason to upgrade. I haven't updated since. I don't plan on updating from there because I don't get crashes.
It's rare.
I'll update when I need to, or when there's something that needs, gives me a reason to update. But yeah, for a lot of my games, I just don't bother. And so that community server gets updated all the time, generally because they're fixing things that we found out break, like the accumulator bug from last week has been fixed. Yep. And then we found it's already been fixed, but then we found another one that wasn't fixed in, what are we up to? 1765 or 66?
I would just round it off to 70 at this point.
Yeah.
Just round it off to, no, in fact, just round it off to the nearest whole number.
Like 17.1.1.
Well, you could just a whole number, so that would be 18. So it's near enough to 18.
Okay, yeah.
It's over the fence. It's over the hill. Not over the fence. It's over the hill, almost out of the gates.
Okay. So yeah, whatever the latest bug we found in the community map is not fixed in Factorio Vanilla yet. So yeah. Anyway, they're still trying to go stable. They're hoping the plan for this week is the same as... Yeah, there we go. 1766 has just been released. So the plan for this week is the same as the plan for last week. See what happens over the weekend. And see if we can go stable next week. So that means Boss Kid has a whole weekend to go nuts and at least report as many bugs as possible so they can't go stable. Because I'm sure that's his bottom line plan. Just make sure they stay in experimental forever. Yep. And then we have the second half of the Friday Facts, which is the community spotlight for the Narvis post-collapse. So, forum member Little Strip has spent over 8 months working on a map based on the idea of an abandoned city colony. First talking about his baby in a thread, like, I looked at the thread, it was like a year ago, I think.
It's almost like it was 8 months ago or something.
Yeah, and he has this version ready for publishing, and a bit of backstory to go with it. Now, the backstory, I've got the forum post here. There's a long backstory. It's a really good backstory, actually. But the long and the short of it is there was a colony. Everyone got wiped out by an AI war, and they still roam the system in massive numbers, and eventually a few decades later, the location of the colony was lost. And these maps, it's a handcrafted scenario. Have you seen any of the pictures, Mojo?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've gone through it. There's a lot going on.
It's a very, very, very detailed handcrafted map. Complete with, like, there's a couple of these cities set up in the map. There is a warning: you will need 16 gig of RAM to just open the map, along with a warning about UPS if you.
Oh yeah.
Because he's got cars all through the map to give ambience, and yeah, every car on a map is an active entity, and that is not good overall. And there's a few 100,000 cars.
Oh yeah, and the map is also absolutely ridiculously enormous, and there's an absurd, because it's all custom decoratives as well. There's a lot more decoratives than what there would normally.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really massive map. But, like, he's put so much time and effort into it. I've had a look around the map. It looks awesome. It looks great. I've been requested several times to run this for the next community map, next month's community map. So that's probably what will happen. With the big proviso of, you're going to need that 16 gig of RAM to probably just jump in and join. But yeah, Exterm did a video on it. No thumbnail. Bad Exterm. Exterm should know better.
I did check. I did check. It is actually a thumbnail.
What? Has he uploaded a thumbnail since?
No, that is the thumbnail.
Oh, that is the thumbnail. Yeah, that is the thumbnail. No thumbnail with a mouse pointing in the corner. Right there in the middle. Yep. But the one thing I did like from the description is, or from the scenario backstory, is the bad news is there are no women in sight, no beer, no holiday, and last but not least, your food regimen will consist of dead, giant, disgusting bugs. Hope you get used to it because you'll be here for a while. and like that sold me on it. There is a map a download link in the forums, and yeah, it's one I want to have another good look at it, because the time, the effort the guys put into it, it's just.
It's managed to do a lot with a game which doesn't really have a lot to lend itself to these kind of art builds like Minecraft.
Well, Minecraft, like even Minecraft, people install mods. This is all done in vanilla.
I was actually wondering that.
Well, like any mod you install and gives you custom decoratives, if you remove the mod, the decoratives disappear as well.
Oh, Minecraft, a lot of the big builds are, like, you do get builds done in vanilla. You might add shaders or something, or texture packs, but they're still basically there. But the key thing is that, like, Minecraft has the variety in textures and, from blocks to actually pull off that sort of thing. That's something that Factorio has always been sort of lacking in.
Factorio is not built around graphics at all. Let's be honest.
It's a bit of an afterthought, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're built around graphics. It's just that the graphics has only one color. The base around one color.
Yeah, grey and brown. Well, brown and grey, depending on which age of Factorio we're talking about.
I would just add brown and more brown.
Well, I think the early game had a lot more grey in it, didn't it?
No, it was pretty brown.
Oh,
it was actually a lot more aggressively brown.
Okay.
Either offensively or probably aggressively brown.
Both. But hang on. Modern Factorio has a lot more concrete.
Yeah, it does.
So old Factorio is brown, modern Factorio is grey.
It's still pretty much a lot of the brownish hues going on.
Yeah. But yeah, look, if you got 10 minutes to go download this map, you've got 16 gig of RAM to open it. I really recommend you open up this map, have a wander through it. He's been nice enough to add lots of biters throughout the map, lots of resources. If you're playing anything like Bob's mods or anything like that, you will have to open it up in editor mode and paint in your own resources, because obviously the whole map is custom made. So every single spawner, every single like train track, bridge item, wall, everything has been placed down by hand. Even these tankers, can I open up picture? Even these large tankers he's put down. He's landfilled out the area for the tanker. He's then concreted the whole thing, and then he's filled it full of oil in these tanks. So yeah, it's really amazing what
What's going on there?
Oh yeah.
To get all that done. On the plus side, though, if you were to play the map, you do have basically a railway network from the go.
You do have a railway network from the go. It may or may not get stopped right in the middle of some giant behemoth worms, just so you've been warned. Technically, you could get in a car and go for a drive through the city, because there are decent enough highways through here. There may be the occasional bridge that's stopped with a train in the with a boat in the middle. The amount of time and hours and effort that's gone into this, I'm gobsmacked, to be honest. I really, really am. It's and then he's also, I think the first image is the original landing site, and he's used some of the new assets that they've introduced with the new scenario. And we still don't know what's on those capsules, those 2 numbers on the capsules, because they never told us. Mojo forgets. Yeah, there we go. See? Mojo remembers. We still don't know what those numbers are. They never told us. I went back and looked. They still never told us. Yep. So, yeah. Lots of work, lots of effort. I'm actually looking forward to playing it next month. So, I think that's it for this Friday Facts. The shortest one ever.
That is it. Yeah, shortest one ever.
There you go. For the first time ever. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yep.